So it is time to check out the main card, right? It's not a bad one, right? It's not a bad main card. We open up with a middleweight clash, right? We have Robert Valentin against Torrez Finney. Now, I think this is very interesting, right? Because the Punisher, right? We saw Torrez Finney on the Contender Series. He fought a couple of times last year. He won both, right? The first one wasn't a convincing. It was a bit boring, right? Didn't do a lot, but he did get the win. But there were mitigating circumstances going into that. So once Dana found out, he gave Finney another shot. And that time, he came and showed out, right? He's on a 15-fight win streak. 15-fight win streak, which is nutty. But that first round ground and pound, said it. Now, he does actually have a rear naked choke, which is surprising. And just because he's got short arms, right? Like, not for, because you don't think he's going to have skills or anything like that. Like, the other fights are ground and pound. Actually, he hasn't really got short arms. For some reason, it looks like, but he does have a 75.5-inch reach, which, it's not bad, right? It's not shabby. So he is going up against Robezilla. Robert Valentin. Some of these nicknames are terrible. They are terrible. Come on. So Valentin, he's going to be taller, obviously. And he does have a 1.5-inch reach advantage. Now, he's coming off a loss in his last fight, right? Which was his UFC debut. So that was against Ryan Loder in August last year. He was part of the Ultimate Fighter. I think that was in the final, I do believe that was in the final. I think he might have been the favorite too. But Loder, just was able to, do his thing in that one. Like, Valentin, he's got stoppages, right? He does have a couple of submissions in it. I think this is a decent test for Finney, really. Going up against someone taller with reach, can knock you out, can submit you. It's a decent test. It does make this fight very hard to predict. So, I'm gonna go Finney, right? I'm gonna go Finney just because I think with the story, with everything, he knows what's at stake, right? He knows that people think once he steps up, he's just going to get controlled and smashed. He knows that. So he's going to have done everything in his ability to ensure he is ready for this fight. So I'm going Finney for the win. So we go from middleweights to the flyweights. We have Osbourne against Louis Gurule. So the Jamaican sensation, O'Day Osbourne. He's 33, 5'7", 73-inch reach. He's coming off some losses. He is, unfortunately, coming off some losses. He's 4-6 in the UFC, which is, I don't think the record necessarily represents the skill and potential of Osbourne. He came via the Contender Series. And he did lose to Ronaldo Rodriguez at the Sphere, right? And, that was a great fight, right? Rodriguez is very talented. Yes, he did lose the other day, but he's very talented. He also lost to João Filo and Asu Amabayev. Both very good fighters, right? Both very good fighters. Both caught him with rear naked chokes. So there is that. Osbourne, he's good. Like, he lost a Manuel Cap. So the losses aren't to chumps. You know what I mean? They're not to chumps. Now, he is going up against Grim Louis Gurule, who's 31, 5'5", 64-inch reach. He's on a 12-fight win streak. 12-fight win streak coming via the Contender Series. He's also fought a couple of times in the LFA. The Contender Series fight was October last year. He's got some subs, right? He can sub you, can stop you with punches. Now, obviously, right, this is a fight that O'Day probably has to win, right? Probably has to win to keep his job. And just wants to win for that confidence, right? Just to show people he's not done, But yeah, Gurule, he can sub you, and we know O'Day has fallen to submissions. Oh, I think I'm going with Gurule. Coming with the confidence and everything. So yeah, I think that's what's happening there. So we jump to the middleweight division next. We have got Brad Tavares against Gerald Meerschaert. So Tavares, he's been around, man. 37, 6'1", 74-inch reach, is coming off a couple of losses. Right? He's 15-10 in the UFC. Right? I believe he came via the Ultimate Fighter back in the day. I think he did. Right? I might be wrong. No, I am not wrong. He did come via the Ultimate Fighter. Back in 2010. Jeez. Right? Got to the final, lost to Court McKee. No, he didn't get to the fight. I think that was the semis. Right? Lost to Court McGee, who eventually went on to win the whole thing. Right? So, it's not, it's all right with that. He's fought so many good fighters, right? So many good fighters, man. And just people that just are no longer there, right? Fought Yair Romero, Izzy, Robert Whittaker. You know what I mean? Just, boy. Whew. It's crazy. It is crazy. Lost the current champ, right? But yeah, last two didn't go his way. Gregory Rodriguez and Young Park. That last one being October last year. So he is fighting GM3, Gerald Meerschaert, right? Who, 37, 6'1", 77 and a half. He's coming off a loss in his last fight, right? Which, was to Rena de Ritter. Got caught in an arm triangle. And, that was de Ritter's first fight in the UFC. But, then we saw what he did to Kevin Holland. So de Ritter just, he's looking okay, right? Meerschaert, right? He beat Edmund Shabazian, Brian Barberena. He does have that ability to weather a storm and come back. Right? We've seen him do it countless times. They're both vets, right? Meerschaert's 12-10 in the UFC. I think I'm going Brad Tavares. I think, they both got wear and tear for sure. But I think Brad can put that pressure on you. And I think Meerschaert doesn't necessarily like that pressure. And so I think Brad can do that and sustain it, which is the big thing. Because we've seen people put the pressure on Meerschaert in that first round, but then get fatigued. And I don't think that's going to happen to Brad, right? So I'm saying Brad Tavares for the win. So our featured bout of the night, it's a Bantamweight clash. Cortavious Romious against Lee Chang-ho, which, this is an interesting one. Chang-ho is 4-0. I think he's coming via the road to the UFC, which, that's an interesting comp, man. We some crazy talent come via that, He's got a lot of stoppages, like ground and pound. He likes to put it on you. Does have some subs as well. So that, we have that. And as I said, he's fighting. Are you not? I mean, some people, right, have got great nicknames. Cortavious Romious. I get it, right? It's a Roman gladiator kind of sounding name. But are you not entertained is a terrible nickname. That is not a nickname. It's too long, son. It's too long. What are we doing? Right, he's 31, 5'4", 68-inch reach. Is coming off a loss in his last fight. Right. He's 1-1 on the Contender Series. 1-1 on the Contender Series. His UFC debut was November last year. He lost to Gaston Bolanas. Yes. He's got some subs, right? He's got some subs. Armbar seems to be his sub of choice, but he does have a rear naked as well. But yeah, definitely more arm bars for him. And he is fighting. Wait, where am I? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Everything went a little squirrely. Yeah. So I think, right, when you compare, records, when you look at everything, I think Cortavious, he's, definitely got skills, but I think I'm going with Lee Chang-ho. And I think part of that is the road to the UFC. Because that is a tough comp, right? And when you look at the people on, just no pushovers, right? No pushovers. And then, he's got strikes, he's got subs, right? He's on a win streak, so he's just feeling himself. So, yeah, I'm going with not Cortavious, with Lee Chang-ho to get the victory. So that's what I think there. Now, our co-main event. Well, with the featherweights, right? We have Joanderson Brito against Pat Sabatini, which, this is tremendous, right? Tubaro, right? Brito. He's 35'8", 72 reach, coming off a loss in his last fight. Right, he's 5-2 in the UFC, came via the Contender Series. His last fight was a split to William Gomi. That was September last year. Yeah. Good fight. William Gomi is a very good opponent. Now, before that, he was looking crispy. Right? Looking crispy. Different, stoppages. Got a ninja choke against Jonathan Pierce. Jonathan Pierce is no cakewalk. Yeah, that means, I think I got that expression right. Beat Jack Shaw. Oh, that was a nasty cut. Nasty cut. And so, he's got skills, right? Knocked out Andre Feely. He's choking people out, right? He's impressive. And he is fighting Pat Sabatini, right? Pat Sabatini, who, he's 34, 5'8", 70-inch reach. He's on a one-fight win streak. And, man, he's skillful. He's 6-2 in the UFC. Only 2 losses, right? Only 2 losses. And he does his thing on the grappling scene as well. Beat Herbert Burns recently. Right. Also has a victory over Jonathan Pierce. Got him with a rear naked. I think Pat Sabatini is definitely underrated. Right. Lost to Diego Lopez. But we know how friggin' skillful Diego Lopez is. Right. And Damon Jackson. There is sole losses. Other than that, he's been murking people. Right? Beat Jamal Emmers, who we saw just the other day do his thing. And, he's beat a lot of talented people in grappling. Alex Cazeira, Nico Price. Right? I think Pat Sabatini is going under the radar. Right? I think Brito is good for sure. Brito is mad talented. But I don't know, man. I'm just feeling Pat Sabatini is going to get it. Right? But we will see. It's a great co-main event. I'm jazzed about it. So, let's see what happens, people.